Our speaker this evening is Dr. Richard Halpin, Jefferson Professor Emeritus. Dick Halpin is a very familiar face at Jefferson Community College and throughout the North Country. Dick began his nearly 30-year tenure with the college in 1973 as the Director of Student Activities and Cultural Affairs. He later joined the Faculty of Social Sciences Department, rising to the rank of full Professor of Sociology. In 1999, he was appointed as the founding director of the newly created Center for Community Studies. He continued to teach and oversee the center's groundbreaking community-based research until his retirement from Jefferson in 2002. Dick was honored with the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Professional Service in 1990. After leaving Jefferson, Dick served as Executive Director of the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Jefferson County until 2011. He is a widely respected independent consultant helping businesses with strategic planning, leadership, and organizational development activities. He is well known for his past work as facilitator for the Jefferson Leadership Institute. Dr. Halpin holds a PhD in Higher Education Administration, Master's of Science in Counseling, and a Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology, all from the SUNY Albany. Please welcome our speaker this evening, Dr. Richard Halpin.
Thank you. Chairman Freilich and members of the Board of Trustees, President McCoy, members of the faculty, staff, administration of the college, my good friends, elected officials, families, friends, and all members of the community, and most of all, graduates. Congratulations, good evening, well done. Thank you for that introduction, Nathan. And thank you, Carol McCoy, for your leadership of Jefferson for these past 10 years. On behalf of all retirees and pioneers, thank you for taking such good care of our college. Congratulations on your retirement as well. Sort of your graduation tonight, Carol. And thank you for inviting me to say a few words at this year's commencement ceremony. As a member of the college community, I attended 29 of these ceremonies before moving on from the college in 2002. My first, believe it or not, was the 10th commencement ceremony, I believe. That was 1974. The last one was 15 years ago. I sort of retired and moved on from here to the Cornell Cooperative Extension System. I always felt that leaving after just 29 ceremonies was kind of incomplete. 29 doesn't feel like a proper concluding number. What's 29? That's an age to be, but that's not a career. By allowing my participation here tonight, I can now count 30 commencement ceremonies. That seems better. I like the sound of 30 better. My Jefferson career can now be complete, so thank you again. And again, congratulations, graduates, the families and friends who have supported and encouraged you, and the community that has provided a foundation. And I'm going to start with some good news. As I said, I've participated in 29 of these, now 30 ceremonies. So I know something about listening to commencement speakers. I will attempt to have something meaningful to say, and I will attempt to be brief in saying it. Deal? Deal. Tonight I'm going to talk about culture, community, and Jefferson Community College. As a sociologist, as a longtime member of this community, and as a retiree of Jefferson Community College, I may know a bit about culture, community, and Jefferson Community College. So that is what I'll talk about, culture, community, Jefferson Community College. And that will lead to encouraging you as you leave here, commencement, a beginning, an ending that's a beginning. I will encourage you to become contributing members, meaningful members of your communities, wherever you may land. But I'll get to that. Okay, why do we do what we do? Why do we live in houses or apartments? Why do we listen to the music that we listen to? Why do we conduct this ceremony in this manner? Why do we eat pizza? Why do we go fishing or golfing or bowling? Why do we say to strangers, why do we say hi as we pass? Why go through the pain of college and the pomp of commencement? Why are we dressed like this? Why and why and why? And the answer, of course, those of you who've certainly taken a sociology course will agree with me. The answer is we do what we do as a result of the culture we have learned. This is all cultural. Culture is all the shared beliefs, behaviors, and things that a particular group of people share and pass along generationally. It is the way of life of a group of people. It provides a set of rules and expectations and guidelines that tell us how to act. It gives us boundaries and instructions. And of course, cultures vary enormously. Look around the globe from society to society. You'll see enormous variations, enormous definitions in what's normal, variations in what's normal and typical and right. Now, the neat thing about culture is that, in a real sense, it creates us. We are who we are as a result of the culture we have learned. We didn't choose this culture. We just showed up. And our language then that we learned, our food, our clothing, our values, our morals, our beliefs, all come from having learned those through our culture. But the other neat thing is that culture, while it provides that framework, culture is ever-changing as well. Our language, food preferences, clothing styles, values, and beliefs all evolve over time. Well, if culture makes us, then how does culture change? Well, people change it. Culture creates us, but we in turn create culture. It makes us, we make it. Now let me move on to a next concept of community. I want to bring culture down a couple of notches. Community level. What's a community? A community is a group of people who share beliefs, assumptions, behaviors, and usually a territory. We talk about the community of the North Country, or the community of Jefferson County, or the community of geeks, or the agricultural community, or the Army community, or the college community. Once we become part of a community, that involvement provides a framework for thinking, believing, and acting, just as culture does in a larger sense. So our community is like a little culture. And just as culture provides a way of life of a large group of people, community creates a way of life for a subset of culture, the community. And just as culture creates us, but we in turn create culture, our communities influence us steadily, invisibly, but we in turn can influence, can change, can make our communities. Okay, nice lesson. So what? So what? The so what goes to the heart of what I hope this commencement message can be. It doesn't take much traveling around to see that some communities function much differently than do others. No one knows better than folks who are members of the military, who have had the rich experience of moving around to different locales and experiencing different local communities. Some communities are vigorous and good. Others seem much less so. What accounts for the differences in these different communities? Well, yeah, the environment does, the economy does, the history does, but more than anything else, what accounts for the differences between highly functioning communities and those that function less well are the people who make that community. That's you. Remember, community makes us, but we in turn make community. Community is a function of how people contribute, when people contribute, and if people contribute. You leave here tonight having accomplished great things, going in thousands of different directions. You may be heading off for more education. You may be heading off to the workplace. You may be heading on for who knows what. But one thing is certain, you will be living in a community someplace. And as a graduate, know this: none of this educational experience comes without obligation, social obligation, or maybe I should say opportunity. And the obligation/opportunity is this: give back. You can. You should. Participate in your communities. Make them better. Give of yourself, what you know, what you can do, what you have. The communities in which you live will be good ones to the extent that the people who live there engage and care and contribute. How often do we say, they need to do something about that? Well, here's the deal. There isn't any they anymore. The big they is you and me, us. Maybe we need to do something about that, but they doesn't work. There's no they. And you live right now in a community where the norm is to contribute, is to be involved. According to research by the Center for Community Studies, the average adult in Jefferson County in 2015 gave over 10 hours of volunteer time per month to community purposes. From fire departments to religious organizations, from Little League to local libraries. Now, 10 hours times roughly 100,000 adults certainly looks to me like 1 million hours per month of time contributed to the community good. 1 million hours. Where would we be without that? Where would we be as a community? Now, who contributes those hours? They don't. We do. You must. Which brings me to Jefferson Community College. When I arrived here, the campus was new, the faculty were mostly young, and the role of this college in this community was uncertain. It was my great privilege to participate in the formative years of this college, kind of getting it through its awkward adolescence and helping it into its adult role, so to speak. One of the marketing campaigns that the college had for several years, back in the 1980s, I believe, went something like this. At Jefferson Community College, community is our middle name. Some may even remember that. It's kind of goofy, it's kind of corny, but it's kind of catchy too. Community is our middle name. And in a way, that really did symbolize the emergence of the college into its young adulthood, its emerging identity and maturity, into finding its place in the community. You see, it, and of course it was all of us, it decided to be more than an average two-year college, or a technical college, or a liberal arts college. It was to be a real community college, in the very best sense of the word, a college of the community. It did not choose a convenient, limited role. It did not choose to be adequate. It's truly a community institution and a community asset. It's a pretty special place. The community's college in which this community has invested and from which this community has benefited immensely. I'll close with mentioning one of the last big initiatives that I was a part of here at Jefferson, as Nathan mentioned before. I am proud to have served as the first director of the Center for Community Studies. Just another one of the assets that makes this college special and which underscores the strong sense of community college integration. The purpose of the Center for Community Studies is to provide honest, unbiased, scientifically rigorous, and truly useful information about, guess what? Our community. For whom? Guess who? The members of our community. All while providing a rich educational experience for students and an unparalleled professional development opportunity for faculty. The Center for Community Studies has become an integral part of the culture of Jefferson Community College and of Northern New York. And remember, that didn't just happen. It just happened. It happened as a result of the intentional efforts by members of this community, the college community and the larger community. The community creates us, but we in turn create community. A great example of that is the Center for Community Studies. And thank you, Carol McCoy, and a few others. I'll mention Joel Lalone and Larry Danforth, and most recently, until recently, Ray Peterson, and so many others for keeping the Center for Community Studies fresh and vigorous and engaged. So, graduates, I want you to go. I want you to celebrate. I want you to reflect. I want you to give thanks. And I want you to make this community, or whatever community in which you find yourself, a better place. That community is going to form and shape you invisibly and silently. Be sure you intentionally form and shape it in return. to ensure that it is positive and strong and healthy and appealing and good. It's your obligation, it's your opportunity. Congratulations again. Go forth. Thank you.
Dick, thank you for making this commencement truly special. We sincerely appreciate your ongoing commitment to Jefferson Community College and service to the North Country community, and are very proud of your accomplishments.